So as the title of the video suggests, is this GoPro 7 still a good purchase in 2020? I've been meaning to make a review of the GoPro, as I'm a long-time GoPro user. Upgrading from a GoPro 8 from a Hero 4 Black was what I had in mind, but a $229 deal for a new Hero 7 was too good to pass up. So let's get started with an unboxing. Right off the bat, we can see the packaging didn't change from GoPro's typical display case type packaging. On the side with some graphics of what comes in the box, on the front with an app promo, and on the other side with some features of the camera. So here we have in the camera itself, with a picture of a turtle, of course, sitting on a base just like the previous editions. And right from the beginning, and upon touching the plastic bumper case that the camera comes in, I can tell you it feels cheap. You can tell where they needed to save money, and this bumper case was the first on the list. It's AliExpress quality. Opening the box, we can find a GoPro card, a support manual, stickers, and the camera manual. Inside the compartment, we can find the usual suspects. The camera charge cable, now USB-C, mounting brackets, battery, which now claims 85 to 90 minutes at 4K 30 frames per second, which to compare to a Hero 4 Black only lasted a measly 1 hour, and that's about it. Like I mentioned before, the camera itself is mounted on this massive board, which can be quite handy as a tripod desk replacement in some cases. It's pretty sturdy, so I have to hand it to them for the clever, multifunctional packaging. The bumper, like I mentioned before, it's quite cheap. However, it will do just fine for now. As we can see, the camera, now in its third edition that no longer requires a waterproof case, feels sturdy and premium. However, my model actually had quality control issues on the back LCD. On the front, there's the LCD, the lens, and branding. On the side, the microphone, and the on-off button. On the back, we have the LCD, and on the other side, the latch for the charge HDMI ports, along with the latch release button. on the top, the shutter button, and bumper case latch. Let's get this open. So let's talk about the good. Price, value, and product. Make no mistake, for what it is, this is an incredibly powerful 4K camera in 2020. And with the right tools and accessories, you shouldn't need anything else for vlogging, streaming, etc. Unless you really need a DSLR. Obviously, the camera is quite portable and quite handy. And along with voice control, it will make the camera quite feature-packed for $229 in 2020 for 4K 60 frame per second camera. Hypersmooth is amazing, and overall image quality is fantastic. I cannot complain. Now, if GoPro's Hero 3 and Hero 4 have been used by commercial broadcasters, TV stations extensively for their B-roll or even A-roll footage when they needed it, trust me, you will be just fine. And you are using a more powerful, miles better edition of the Hero than they had. The bad, 720p stream limited, if you use GoPro's very good app. However, I'd recommend the Live 4 streaming app, and this is not a sponsored video. Another bad point, no front LCD. How come DJI can do that, but GoPro cannot? Also, this camera is a nightmare of productivity. You have to open the case, open the battery, put the battery back, use the charger, unscrew it from the tripod adapter, remove it from the tripod, open the SD card door, remove the SD card, etc. It is a total productivity nightmare. Do not plan to record and edit that same day. Your GoPro life is now lived in 2-day increments. And finally, the ugly, or should I say the dirty, because GoPro does you really dirty if you want to stream, or if you plan to record line in output, as the GoPro 7 only works with its own expensive accessories. One of the massive deal breakers for me for this camera was the audacity of GoPro to limit this camera's live stream capabilities to 720p, which is only done software-wise just so users upgrade or opt for the Hero 8 instead, which also limits its own stream at 1080p. You can obviously stream full 4K 60 FPS if your equipment can handle it via OBS. However, because they opted to do it just because they can, and to siphon more money out of customers through shady practices, makes me not want to stand behind a company with business ethics like that, while there's so much more competition out there. While I understand it would be naive of me to think that the others don't do it as well, still, the camera is practically useless to me with that limitation. Because I'm considering streaming a feature for the year 2019, but limited to the year 2010 intentionally. The fact that this practice is a trend with GoPro makes me despise this company and its leadership, while I'm really struggling to actually hate its product, design, and capabilities. And it just goes to show how a beautiful product and idea can be ruined by corporate decision with greed as the underlying motive. Which brings me to the second deal breaker, audio port issues. The camera does not work properly almost at all, due to a maybe intentional software glitch. It does not recognize USB-C to 3.5mm jack adapters. And yes, I have already tried other adapters, and the ones with and without the 3 rings, it just simply does not work. However, adding a $50 GoPro branded adapter works instantly. I wonder, would it be firmware locked? And secondly, it is impossible to record and charge at the same time, unless again, you fork over the $50 with a pass-through USB-C port. So then, by cutting critical camera functionality in order to be called, well, a camera, it is not the price advertised, but the price advertised plus $50, because the definition of a camera means you're supposed to record audio as well. Now for me, other than these two massive deal breakers, plus the mentality behind the culture that makes me not a customer, I want to dislike the camera, but I can't. As a product, it is tremendous. And if it was sold with an audio adapter for external microphones, with a USB-C pass-through, and streaming would not be limited due to greed, this camera would be perfect. Now, is this camera for you? Yes, it is. Are you planning to live stream video and digital audio at the same time from an external audio source? Then in this case, the camera is not for you. It's going to be much more frustrating to get this done, and the process is not simple. Well, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate your input, and I'm looking forward in the comments to see what your opinion is of the GoPro Hero 7. If you enjoyed this video, then please leave a like, share, drop a comment below, or even subscribe. It helps the channel a lot and motivates me to do more videos like this in the future. Thank you so much for watching.